Welcome to International Championship Wrestling. I'm your host, Les Thatcher, and joining me here at desk side for all of today's matches, my friend Corporal Terry Daniels. And Terry, before we get on with today's events, some great wrestling matches. Once again, we would like to talk a little bit about what we showed last week, the picture of your dad, and once again, give the fans out there and our viewing audience the information.
You know, Les, it's a very touchy thing with me. Because, you know, you hear of all these parents splitting up with their kids, and when they're real young and the kids growing up, they have mixed feelings about it. You know, you can't really determine what went wrong at the time. You know, it couldn't be your fault. Whatever happened between the mom and dad is, you know, is history.
Right.
You should keep in touch with your parents, whether there's mixed feelings or whether there's not, because that's an important part in anybody's life. Is to keep in touch with your parents.
Absolutely. And why don't you once again give the information that you know on your father, his date of birth, your grandmother's maiden name, and so forth.
Okay, from what I know, last time I know of my dad, I was about 2 years old, and the picture that you seen last week was taken in Las Vegas in 1958. He was born in California. I'm not sure whereabout, but he's about 54, and he's born in 1932. And his mother's maiden name is Pacheco. His full real name is Donald Howard Daniels. And as I said before, he was in the Marine Corps, which, you know, makes me even more proud to be in the Marines. And yeah, it's just something that I'm really looking forward to doing.
Well, Terry, we're going to try and see if we can get you some information on your father. Of course, we've got wrestling action to go. And without further hesitation, let's go to our ring announcer for the introductions. Jumpin' Joe Savoldi, the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol, with the team they're calling the Dream Team, out against the Psycho and Santana. One fall, 15-minute time limit. And Terry, we're going to, of course, get your expertise throughout the day. And I know you, like the rest of us, are impressed with the quick grasping of tag team basics that has come about with Idol and Savoldi. They've just been together a few weeks, and yet it's as though they were meant to be as a team.
Yeah, Les, when you feel the chemistry is there between two people, there's no need in keeping it apart. You should put it together, because there could be something in the working right there. And, you know, sitting here at commentary, you're not supposed to be partial, but as the people know, you know, I am partial, and I don't think I need to say which ones that I'm going to be rooting for.
I don't think so either.
But I found out about Austin Idol's brother being in Vietnam, and you know, it kind of touched me right there in the heart there, and it put me a little closer to Austin. And Joseph Volti, I haven't known either one of them very long, but like I say, there's that chemistry there, and it's just. It just brings you closer together. You know, it's hard to describe.
Absolutely. Right now, Savoldi and Idol doubling up on Psycho and Santana. Idol on the outside with a body slam on the floor of Santana. And they have taken over offensively from the very get-go. Psycho in trying to help out. Joe Savoldi out there covering. There's what we were talking about, Terry.
Yes, right there, Joe. When you seen, excuse me, Les, when you seen Joe come around there and watch Austin's back, that's what I'm talking about, teamwork. And, you know, it's just there. You don't have, it's something you don't train for because you're trained to perfect it. But when you got the chemistry, you just know when to come in.
Right. Either you've got it or you don't.
Yes,
you can't improve upon it, but if it's not there, you can't build it. I agree with you 100%. And this team has been good. You know what I'm looking for down the line here, Terry, is when it comes down to the confrontation between Idol, Savoldi, Haze, and Sullivan. That should be a barn burner.
That's something there that right now it's hard for me to talk about because of the way those two carry on.
Well, yeah, I was going to mention that you opening the program with me and talking about family. This deal has to hit home to you because it is family that Sullivan is talking about when he talks about the Savoldis.
You know, when I start talking about family, you know, that can't help but touch everybody. Plus the people out here, it can't help but touch you. And, you know, Les, it's hard for me to talk about because it does, they may think they're using Austin and Joe as a stepping stone to get where they're going. But what they don't know is there's going to be other people that's going to be right behind them.
I agree with you. They think they're putting a little fear maybe or doing a little psychological warfare with Idol and Savoldi, but opposed to settling them down, they're stirring them up. Right now, Idol bringing Psycho in over that top rope, and again, Savoldi moves in. It's a four-way deal as they run the two opponents head-on.
Teamwork there, right there is exact example of teamwork.
And I think, Terry, you were just mentioning the feel of something. And you go in that ring with a partner, you know immediately whether it's there or it's not, don't you?
That's right. When you have a partner just like Austin and Joe here, they know what to do. If they get in trouble in the ring, boom, they're going to come in. If the referee takes them out, then you know, they have to go out because that's the rules, you know. But sometimes the rules, you can't abide by the rules. Just like right now, they had to get them out because they got them out or they run.
Santana and Psycho have headed for the hills. Now they're getting the count. Santana back in, Idol with the headlock, the takedown, and in control. Here again, I think the major thing, the major ingredient with Savoldi and Idol is you might call the Chinese say yin and yang,
right.
Or the fact that Idol, the flamboyant wild man, Savoldi, the scientific young man, it's such a combination going from one degree to the other. It keeps the opponents off balance.
Well, just like these moves right here. Their opponents, you can watch films, watch these guys wrestle, but when you get in there, you don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
There's always going to be a slip up somewhere, and if you make that slip, just like right there.
Teamwork, right?
Yes, just like right there. A perfect example, you know?
A good move there as it was Idol coming over that top rope in an assist to partner Joe Savoldi. The tag once again. Here again, the ingredient of a good team. They're tagging in and out with frequency. Look here, again, some more teamwork. The tag's been made. Savoldi, the legal man. Look at there!
Exactly. Yeah,
diving clothesline.
Beautiful.
Wow.
1, 2, 3. The other man started to come in.
Yes, sir.
Austin come over, took him out so they could finish it and get the win. That's
beautiful move.
Yes.
Teamwork and a diving clothesline off that top rope by jumping Joe Savoldi. And Jim, if you got it back there, can we see that on instant replay? All right. Yes, we're going to come up with that on instant replay in just a moment. Of course, there it is, Terry. You were talking about teamwork. We saw it there as Idol made the tag, set the man Santana up, and Savoldi came bailing off that top rope.
When you have such good teamwork like that, it's worth looking at 2 or 3 times.
We're going to see it right here. Here it is. Idol sets his man up. Look at there. And, boy, he drove him right down.
When you have the strength Austin Idol has and Joe Savoldi, it's hard to beat that combination, especially with the strength they have. You see that they can move, and you know,
Idol moves in, or Savoldi moves in. Grapevine's his man. He's got himself a winner, a great team, and of course we can see why they're being called the Dream Team. Terry and I will be back with more wrestling action in just a moment. Some more great matches coming up, but first a commercial break. Ah, yes.
Hi, this is Dee Dee Prestige, and I wrote a poem for you. Prestige Gardens is the place to go for plants, shrubs, or trees, anything you want to grow. Beautify your home and garden with our flowers and seeds. At Prestige Gardens, you'll find the best for your needs. Come see us for anything you're looking for in landscaping, garden, or to beautify your homes and offices. We take pride in your plans for beauty. Thank you.
The name is Nissan. Don't you ever forget.
And the name of the dealership you'll never forget is Stones River Motors in Murfreesboro. The all-new 86.5 trucks are in at Stones River Motors, including a 140-horsepower V6. For a limited time, there's 7.7 APR financing available on all the new hard bodies. That's at Stones River Motors, 814 Memorial Boulevard in Murfreesboro.
The name is Nissan.
We're back and ready for more great action, and right now let's go to our ring announcer, Steve Budd. Ron Sexton in the ring waiting for his opponent, and we'll pick up the action. Ron Sexton out against J.D. McSlade. And Terry, you know, talking about watching people's careers, I met Ron Sexton when I was wrestling, and he was still in high school in Knoxville, Tennessee. And, you know, he told me then, as a fan, he was always at the matches, I'm going to be a wrestler when I grow up. Of course, we're all going to be something, firemen or policemen or Marines maybe, right?
That's right. That's determination. And as you see right there, Ron's showing a little of that determination by staying on top of his man, trying to wear him down right off the beginning.
Got him there.
Yeah, going for the pin right away. That's a true athlete there, trying to get it over with.
The element of surprise, right? Element of surprise, yes. Sexton does combine wrestling knowledge and science, but he can get in there and roughhouse, as we both know. Have you ever wrestled Ronnie before, Terry?
Yes, I have. He's a tough opponent. He knows what he's doing in the ring, and if you make the least little mistake, he'll capitalize on it and get that 1, 2, 3.
Right there, goes in deep, takes the arm, dragged down, and cinches up on that arm bar.
What he's doing there, he's working on that one arm to get the man's concentration off things. Put that pain in there to where he's thinking about that pain, where he can step in there and take him down for the quick fall.
Coming up on this week's ICW In-Depth, we're talking about families. I'm going to be talking to the Savoldi family. 3, as a matter of fact. Father Angelo and sons Mario and Jumping Joe. That'll be coming up next in the next portion of our program. But, of course, in conjunction with that, Terry, Angelo Savoldi is the promoter of over 40 years and, of course, the head man with International Championship Wrestling. He invites wrestlers from all alliances. The ICW growing in leaps and bounds, and some men that I know you're familiar with and I'm familiar with. We want to tell the fans coming up very soon, Bruiser Brody, Blackjack Mulligan. Here's 2 guys.
Oh, yeah.
If they drop 75 pounds, we'll be playing professional basketball. These guys 6'7", 6'8", 300 pounds.
You know, that's something size you can't let bother you. To get back there for a second, what happened a while ago, Ron messed up, and the other guy got him in a headlock. He's working on the head to get, because that's where everything is focused at, is on the head. If you get that wore down, then you can get a quick fall. It's a more or less a mind game. And
absolutely.
Looking for that one mistake.
Mental chess, right?
Yes. People, going back to Bruiser Brody, he's a big man, but you can't let the size bother you. You should get in there and just like he's your size, just get in there and do what you can. And, you know, if he thinks his size is intimidating you, but you make him think that it's not, then, you know, he's intimidated.
Absolutely. Well, I think this is something that you exemplify when you go in that ring, because no matter the size of your opponent, I've always, as long as I've been watching you, you always take your battle to the opponent, whether he's 6'9" or 5'9".
That's right.
And of course, this is something you don't stand up and be intimidated. Is this something that Terry Daniels grew up with, or is this something that you more or less honed in the Marine Corps?
Well, the Marine Corps helped me out a lot, but it goes back to my stepdad. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, and I can credit him with him helping me not being afraid of big men, because, you know, we didn't we didn't really get along much when I was growing up. But you know, we still talk. But I can credit him with me not being afraid of big men.
Man bigger than yourself.
That's right.
Of course, in the wrestling ring, they come in all sizes and all shapes, and obviously because they are professionals, they're all tough.
That's right.
So you can't take them by size. You've got to go in an unlimited heavyweight class and take them all. We're talking about some other big guys. How about Kamala, the Ugandan giant? Here is a guy that he's not a scientific wrestler, but with that size of over 400 pounds, he has got all that power.
Right. That's a man. I have been in the ring with Kamala. And that's one man that if he gets a hold of you, he'll demolish you. See, look right here, Ron. The guy, I keep getting you.
That's all right.
Looking at the matches there, and but Ron had him down for the pin, and the guy throws his feet over the ropes. That's kind of the chicken way out, if you ask me.
Whoa.
Oh, look at that suplex.
Suplex by Sexton as he went in behind. McSlade wasn't prepared for that. I think McSlade figured Sexton was trying for the takedown.
This could be it.
No.
Oh, they
kicked
just
out.
barely got out.
Barely, you're right. Sexton has controlled the offense here, and of course, that's your aim, right?
More. Yes, to control it. The guy, he's got heart. And he's wanting to win. He's got just no matter what Ron's doing to him, he's coming back with just a little more.
McSlade's hanging in there right now, taking command offensively. But McSlade has been unable to build any momentum on his offense, and I think that's what has kept Sexton in the driver's seat.
Right, Sexton is one step ahead of him.
Oh, got him with that one.
Right there, he's one step ahead of him. In order to turn a match around, you need to get one step ahead of the other guy.
As Sexton sets him up for the backdrop. He'll no, I thought maybe he'd go for the pin there, but he's got something else in mind.
Oh, belly-to-belly suplex. Oh, he's not going for the pin.
I think maybe Ronnie a little perturbed that he couldn't put him away earlier and now trying to punish him some.
Yeah, I thought maybe he'd go for it there, but I don't guess he was ready to end it.
Airplane spin. I think this one will put him away, Terry.
It could be. You know, it's got me kind of... Oh, I've seen that before. That's devastating right there. This has to be it.
235 pounds down into the midsection and the body press as Ronnie Sexton comes up with a victory over J.D. McSlade. And as I mentioned, so there you have it. Of course, we're going to have to take a break, but as I mentioned, here we come up on slow-mo. Watch this as Sexton with the airplane spin. And to simply assure himself, I think, this time of a pin, Terry, here he goes diving back on his man.
You know, Les, the people watching this replay, I want to stress to the younger people watching this that aren't professionals, please do not try this.
I agree with you 100%.
If you don't know what you're doing, you can hurt somebody or hurt yourself. So please do not try that until you get professional help and learn how to do it.
Very good advice from Corporal Terry Daniels. And after this commercial break, I'll be back with more ICW In-Depth and the Savoldi family.
My name is George Gulas, speaking on behalf of Universal Wrestling, the Major League of Pro Wrestling. We'll get back with more wrestling action, but first I have in the studio none other than my father, promoter Nick Gulas. And right now I'll talk to him for a couple minutes, and I know a lot of wrestling fans have asked the past several years, 5 to be exact, what has happened to you? Well, you've been out of wrestling since the latter part of 1979, and now it's 1986, a brand new year, and you're coming back into the area again. You'll be promoted in Nashville, Murfreesboro, all the Middle Tennessee area and Southern Kentucky. I know a lot of wrestling fans have asked about you. They've stopped me and asked me, and I know they've asked a lot of wrestlers, but here you are here on Television 39. You can tell the wrestling fans you're healthy now. You had a bout of pneumonia, but you suffered back around Christmas and the first of the year, and of course, you've defeated that. I guess that was the biggest match of your career, not being a wrestler in the ring, but you've got a lot to say to the wrestling fans, a lot of talents coming in here. New York Dog, Bill Smithson, Terry Adonis, manager Richard Lee, Tommy Higgy back in the area. You got Roughhouse Tommy King, the Samoans from WWF in Madison Square Garden. They're coming back. Plus, we also got the Masked Scorpions. We got Austin Idol, Joe LeDuc. We don't have enough time to announce what's coming in this area, and I know you're glad to be back in the wrestling area, and of course, being your home here in Nashville, you're glad to be back.
George, many years I've been in the wrestling business. In fact, I was in it for 47 years. And I tried to bring the best wrestlers in the world right here in Nashville in every place that I promoted. And I broke in a lot of the fellas that are wrestlers today. I would say 75% of the wrestlers in the business today, I broke them in wrestling years ago. Some of them 30 years ago, some of them 35 years ago. I had the greatest wrestlers in the world come to Nashville. such great stars as Jimmy Londers way back in the early 30s and 40s and 50s. And the Ed Strangler-Lewis, Lou Thez, Harley Race, Pat O'Connor, some of the greatest wrestlers in the world came to Nashville. I brought them here, and I intend to bring some of the greatest wrestlers back to Nashville, Murfreesboro, Birmingham, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Memphis, Louisville, Evansville, every town that I can open up and get back, which I had at one time. I'm going to promote and bring back some of the greatest wrestlers in the world.
I know one thing a lot of wrestlers have said, they're coming back when Nick Gulas comes back. I guess you're just like a kitchen and a household word. You know, you can say that some names like Joe Nemphis, the football, and Bob Cousy, the basketball, and Mickey Mountain, the baseball, your name's associated with pro wrestling, and that's why they're waiting for you to come back, because they know you can bring in the best. And since you have mentioned about coming back and then back in this area, you've been flooded with phone calls. I tell you what, I'm sure you can tell wrestlers and wrestling fans, you're not going to stop now. You'll probably get a lot more calls than what you've got, and a lot of fans are glad you're back in it. So I know Universal Wrestling is glad to have you in it. I know that you've missed it for 5 long years, but I tell you what, 5 years have gone by very quick knowing you're back in the wrestling world again. I know the wrestling fans are glad you're in it, and so are the pro wrestlers.
Well, I'm glad to get back, Jordan. I'm glad to get back here in Nashville. We're going to either have the matches at the fairgrounds or the City Auditorium in downtown Nashville. We'll let you know in the next couple of weeks when we'll have the match, the first match, and also where we could be located.
And we'll get back with more Universal Wrestling, the Major League of Pro Wrestling. But first, words from our spotsman, back with more wrestling from Universal Wrestling.
Smyrna says we'll guarantee you $1,500 for any trade, no matter how you get it here. Now, you could push it in, you could pull it in, or tow it in on any new used car, truck in stock. Take a look at this car, a 1983 Oldsmobile Omega. After the guaranteed trade-in, you pay me $4,200, $88, or another $49 down, $149 a month. We'll see here at Dwayne Luck Chevrolet in Smyrna today. Yeah.
Due to HBO and Cinemax's recent decision to scramble their signals, Moondance Satellite is celebrating.
What?
That's right, celebrating the arrival of up to 29 new commercial channels and up to 9 new unscrambled movie channels. And for a very limited time, with the purchase of a satellite system, you'll receive a free 5-day, 4-night vacation for 4 to Costa del Sol, Florida, including free golf, tennis, and swimming. Just $16.49 gets you the dish, receiver, remote control tracking, all installation, and the Florida vacation. No money down with payments as low as $48 a month. This won't last long, so call Moondance Satellite today.
All right, here we are on ICW In Depth, and we talked about a family, and I've got them with me. 2 generations of the Savoldis. You know about, in professional athletics, having more than one generation. The Shula family in football is one concept, and with me is a man who is not only the junior heavyweight wrestling champion of the world himself, but for over 40 years has promoted wrestling with a number of alliances. But in this area, when you want to see top wrestling talent, you come to Angelo Savoldi. And Angelo, let's talk a little bit about what was the transition like for you from wrestler to promoter?
Well, I have to say one thing, from wrestling to promoter, to be a promoter. To be a promoter, you have to know wrestling. You have to know what the background of everything. Then, as you go along, there's times you have to back up to be a wrestler, and you come in to be a promoter, correct?
Exactly. And of course, you became the top man in your division in the world as junior heavyweight champion.
Well, in fact, Les, I was junior heavyweight champion twice.
On 2 occasions, right?
2 occasions. I've lost it once, and I came back 2 years later, and I regained it again.
And you've also become a top promoter.
Yes.
One promoter of the year honored more times than I care to remember.
Well, I've been promoting up this area between you and I say a number of years, a lot of years.
And you've had the top wrestling
and
talent.
I had all the top talent, and now, forget those top talent. We have the greatest top talent coming in now.
We're going to get to that. We're going to talk a little bit about, it's open to everybody, the ICW.
Right.
We've mentioned that before.
Right.
I want to talk to these other generations, these ugly fellas over here, they call you Dad. The second fella here didn't start wrestling, but he's refereed, he's promoted, he's set up rings. You've done a little bit of, even sold popcorn when you were a kid, haven't you, Mario?
Well, Les, I tell you, under my dad's jurisdiction is the word I'm looking for. He made you start from the bottom. I mean, there was, I think the first thing I ever did, I was sent to Trenton, New Jersey, and I had to carry a ring 14 flights of stairs, and that was was my initiation into professional wrestling. But we've gone a long ways. We're shown now just about nationwide, the ICW. We had talked a little earlier. We're going to mention some phone numbers later. We want all those wrestlers to come on down. This is an open league. There's
Open to all
no...
wrestlers.
Yeah, it's not a closed league. There's a lot of great stars out there, but you see the same matches over and over again, and people want to see a lot more.
I agree with you. And of course, we're talking about second-generation wrestlers. Although Mario didn't wrestle, the youngest pup of the brood, the baby, and I'll get on my toes before I can call him a baby. Joe Savoldi has been a professional almost 2 years now, Joey.
And I walked those 14 flights too.
He walked those 14 flights of steps too. You train them all the same way.
That's the only way to do it.
I want to ask a question. When you were a young man, this, of course, was a disciplinary figure in your life, your father.
Yeah.
Now, you're out on your own. Dad is a wrestling promoter. Where does being a father end and being a promoter begin, or where does a wrestler end and being a son
I'm
begin?
glad you brought that up, Les. A father ends when I say a boy reaches his 21 years of age. He's a man. He's on his own. Whatever he's done under that, I controlled it as a father. But now he's 21. He's out there. I don't control him anymore. Unless he does something bad, then I will step in. But he's on his own right now. He's a man. Now, whatever he does in that ring, how he wrestles, how he wants to handle himself, that's his business.
Yeah, there'll be no favoritism here.
I want no favors from anybody.
The three of you know what I'm getting at. Tim Sullivan has accused us of nepotism.
Well, naturally.
But Les, he always, from day one, he always taught my dad. He taught me how to wrestle. I can't say he did not. He taught me how to wrestle, but he also taught me how to be fair. Okay, my dad's a promoter now. I'm a wrestler. I respect my dad that he has no, like he doesn't take my side just because I'm his son. I respect that in him, and that's the way it's going to be.
So when Joe Savoldi steps in that wrestling ring, he's on his own, right?
He's absolutely on his own.
Dad, excuse me. You know, there's one thing I want to mention. You know, we have a new member of our family.
That's right.
A new member?
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
have a new member of our
That's
family.
right.
All right, I'm going to bite.
We have adopted. We have adopted.
We
Yes,
adopted
we
this.
have.
In other words, I'm going to tell you in Italian, in la familia de Savoldi.
All right.
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
In the family of Savoldi.
the guy here? I've never felt so honored and so truly humbled in my life, and all I can really say is that I love all three of you just like family.
Right,
and thank you very much. Tante
It's a
grazie.
pleasure.
Tante grazie, tante grazie.
I also know that when I'm in that ring, Austin will be watching my back, and I'll do the same for him. And there's very, very few people in the wrestling sport that you can honestly say that about. And this guy right here is solid gold, baby.
We're talking about a telephone number, and we're inviting members from the WWF, the AWA, the NWA, or any other alliance, right?
Every place, I don't care where they come from, Les. And believe me, I will give this number out, and I'll also give the number of Marius, which is an assistant promoter to me. Any wrestler, I don't care where they come from, north, south, east, west, over the country, anywhere, they want to challenge, they want to come in this area, they can contact Angelo Savoldi, 201-887-0354. And if they want Mario Savoldi, they contact 201-887-2698. I don't care if they come from St. Louis, New York, Kansas City, California. They are opened.
And of course, you know, the ICW has been growing in leaps and bounds. We've been getting telegrams from promoter Chicago. Your friend Paul Bosch.
Paul Bosch
Houston, Texas,
called
right?
me, sent me a telegram. He wishes me all the luck in the world.
Mike Graham in Florida
right.
sent us a telegram.
That's
wishing
right.
us the luck. Best luck.
And
Bob Geigel. I mean, just
Mr.
been
Watts in Louisiana, Vern Gagnon, Jim Crockett. He says, all the luck in the world. Go to it, fella.
Very good.
So if
Great.
you want to join on the bandwagon, because this train's rolling, and it's going to be rolling awful fast.
Well, not only are we talking about a family, we're talking about a new member in Austin Idol. And
That's right.
We've cleared up the picture between promoter and son, and we know that this man's the wrestler, this is promoter.
And I want to say one thing in Italian.
Shoot.
Solo dice tutta la popolazione dell'Italia, Savoldi are here to stay.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. That's been ICW In Depth. Thank you. Ah, yes.
You're a man who appreciates convenience.
Who, me?
At Frank Davis Buick Jeep Renault in Madison, we're afraid people are so into convenience shopping, they've forgotten about comparison shopping.
Comparison shopping? Nifty idea. But I want $50 now.
You may save up to $1,000 with Frank Davis in Madison coming out.
Sure. You open 24 hours?
Well,
Free home delivery? Wait a minute. What's going on? I want $50.
Compare with us. Come save with us. We're closer than you think.
Scott Factory Outlet offers direct prices to you. All Scott homes are of quality construction featuring plywood floors and 2x4 exterior walls on 16-inch centers. You can own a new 86 single-wide home for as little as $128 monthly or a new 86 double-wide home for only $203 per month. These prices include appliances plus free delivery and setup. Come see our fine selection of homes today at Scott Factory Outlet, located between Murfreesboro and Smyrna on Highway 41. The phone number 893-3200.
Before we go to the ring for this next match, I have one comment to make. In talking to promoter Angelo Savoldi, I had mentioned the tape of Kevin Sullivan and Blackjack Mulligan that we were trying to negotiate to air because it was such a controversial tape, very bloody, very violent. And Angelo said he won't do anything to condone what Sullivan and Haze have done with Blackjack Mulligan or Sullivan. He will not show the tape. But if these men would like to get in a wrestling ring in the ICW area, he'd be happy to put them there. So without further ado, we're talking about it. Let's go now for the introductions of the next match to Steve Budd. Purple Haze and Kevin Sullivan out against Mike Kahlua and Chris Gallahad. And of course, accompanying the Haze and Sullivan at ringside is the Angel.
You know, Les, excuse me for interrupting you, but this is the people that I've been. I don't know what they. I don't know who they. I'm so frustrated. I can't even talk about it.
Look here, Kahlua being being knocked out of the ring. Sullivan right around on the outside goes to work. And you're right. Just a very short time that Sullivan and Lewin have been in this area. They have stirred up a hornet's nest, no doubt about it, Terry.
I don't know what they believe in or who they believe in, but it's certainly not right. They're coming in here bragging about it. They're coming in here trying to push it on everybody else. And it's just Austin Idol and Joe Savoldi. For some reason, they've been after him.
Kahlua with a couple well-placed drop kicks. And Mike now going out to that top rope. Sullivan coming. Kahlua going for the knee, drops Sullivan out of the way. One step ahead of the young Hawaiian, and now Kevin Sullivan back in the driver's seat. And of course, you know, Terry, that very good-looking young lady at ringside, forget those good looks, she's as lethal as the other two in that ring.
Yeah, she is good-looking, but looks on everything.
Amen.
Looks are not everything, and she's what she believes in, and with her hanging around these two here, and she's got to be one of the ugliest women alive.
I'm not sure of the allegiance of these people, but or why they're.
See, look at her. Look at the look on her face. Why? Why should she put herself through that? You know, such a pretty girl like that, and she.
Look at here once again. It's a Singapore sleeper, and look how he's got to pull Lewin off. I'm not sure either, Terry, and it's hard. Look at the look on Mark Lewin's face, on the Haze's face.
Somebody like that's got to be sick, Les. That's the only way to put it. It's hard for me to sit here and watch it. You know,
The match is over. Terry, I don't want any problems. These gentlemen want to talk, and if you'll excuse us for just a moment.
Yeah, Les, I'm going to have to get out of here.
I don't.
let's get right to the point. You've known me for a long time. I've known you. You got out of here with the wine drinkers, and I hear them talking that he's been in the promotion for a long, long time. That he has this, wants to bring in all the stars from all over. It gets down to this. At the 13th temple of the 13th pyramid of Habuddin, I went through the 13 veils of fire, and I was purged. When they strapped me to the tree of woe and did everything that a man could stand. And I went down the river of the dead with Og and met with the purple Haze himself. And we chewed on the cosmic cookie and went down the Amazon River in my own mind. And when things became clear, it was told to me, prophesied on the 13th step, you shall go home and take it back, what rightfully belongs to you. Idol, you made it real clear to me. The line is drawn. It's Armageddon. It's the last battle. You're on the side of the Savoldis. You are now a family member. You can bring in Mulligan. And what about the incident? I want that tape shown.
I want to tell you about that one more time. I was just going to bring that up. Angelo Savoldi has said that by showing that tape, he would only be condoning your actions. He will not show the tape, but any time that you would like to step in the ring with the Texan, he'd be happy to book that or make that match in any town that he promotes.
What I understand now is he's bringing in Mulligan, he's bringing in Brody, trying to sign the Road Warriors. This is my land. This is where I shall build my temple. And this is the end of the family.
The comments of Kevin Sullivan and, for lack of a better word, his family. We're going to have to take a commercial break. We'll be back with more ICW action right after this. Oh, yes.
It takes special talents to make an office work. To bring together all of the components of a good office interior into a working design. You know how they do it at Commercial Interiors? They solve space problems that look good and work better. So, whether it's improving your existing office or furnishing a new one, call Commercial Interiors. Commercial Interiors, for an office that works for you.
The fun, all the shows A to Z and the facts. What's behind what you see? TV Guide, the whole world of TV. That's entertainment. The stars underneath all the glow and the news from the people who know. TV Guide, it's a fabulous show. So buy a TV Guide, then read TV Guide. That's entertainment.
All right, in the ring right now, our ring announcer, Steve Butt. Tom Brandi and Mr. M out against the Hollywood Blondes. And, you know, as colorful as the Blondes are, Terry, they are also very tough combination.
Yeah, they are, Les, but you know, there's something about them, too. It seems to me like they're more worried about their dress and their hair and looking pretty than they are in the match. You know, doubt that they are a tough competitor. But you got to put your mind on the match and your opponents, because if you're more worried about other things, then you're going to get beat.
In other words, you feel they're more concerned with being fashion plates than they are competitive wrestlers, right?
Yeah, this is a wrestling sport. This isn't a fashion magazine, you know?
I agree. It's Mr. Glass. What happened to the Hollywood Blondes in there? And Timbs has started off with Mr. M. Mr. M in great physical condition. My first look at him, but he's impressive to look at.
Oh, he looks great. He really does. He's got that big chest and legs and little hips and.
Well conditioned. Look nice.
Look at the drop kick. Very good.
He's got them both on the move right away. But as I said, the Blondes are a tough team. They work well together, and if they get a chance to cut those corners, break those rules, watch for them to do it.
And I think these two here, the Hollywood Blondes, they haven't really, I don't know what word I'm looking for, Les. Underestimated, that's the word I'm looking for. Underestimated their opponents, and as it looks like they started out under underdogs.
You know, I think we both agree. You need a little ego to begin with. You got to have that confidence in yourself to get in that ring, but overconfidence will get your shoulders pinned to that mat.
Yeah, look at this, Les.
Right.
Mr. M's head in the turnbuckle, it didn't even phase him, you know?
Am right in there on him, wanting to move in on Dusty. And Ken back in. The Hollywood Blondes, as Terry mentioned, they're biting off a little more than I think they can chew right at this moment.
I believe so, but you know, it goes. The Hollywood Blondes, even though I have all this against them, they have the right charisma too. They've got the chemicals together with themselves, and they can work as a team. Unfortunately, they have to break the rules to do it, but you know, they usually overcome their opponents.
Of course, tag team action is growing fast and furious in the ICW now with the Haze and Sullivan, the new Dream Team Idol and Savoldi, the Hollywood Blondes. Combinations like that is going to make it tough for tag team wrestlers.
Yes, it is. It really is. You know, it's good to have to be an individual in there, but when you know you've got a partner that you can rely on, then it's even that much more exciting.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Mr. M over the top comes back with that drop kick.
He's a step ahead of him there.
Scoop and the body slam. Terry, as far as tag teams in your relatively short career, you haven't wrestled in teams a lot. Is that just because you haven't cared to, or just the occasion hasn't come up so much?
Well, I'm more of an individual. Teams to me tag teams are good, but I like more men, like a football team. That's what I consider a team.
And you feel if you're going to be in there just one other guy, you might as well be alone and carry your own load. Is that it?
You know, don't get me wrong, it's exciting to have a partner, but I feel awkward, you know what I mean?
I guess if the right one came down the pike, and we're talking about the way two men can gel in that ring, like, say, Savoldi and Idol. If you found a partner like that, you'd probably be more apt to stay with a team wrestler.
I'd jump right there. I'd jump at the chance.
But we're watching teamwork now as the Hollywood Blondes in combination and in tandem.
They've taken over, and there's some of the tactics that they use that I don't agree with. But, excuse me, let's go ahead.
Sorry, Tom Brandi not being able to build any offenses. The Blondes working quickly together set him up. Brandi now dazed and stunned, hanging that corner. He needs to get it back across that ring and make a tag.
Yes, he does. You know, right here, experience plays a part in this. Tom Brandi, he's been wrestling in a while, and he's a good wrestler, but he just doesn't have the experience on his belt to know what to do to counter whatever his opponent does.
Of course, Terry, great physiques and great wrestling talent are all very much a part of this sport, but if you don't have the timing, the balance, the leverage, the know-how of when to explode and when to sit back, it's all for naught.
See, look at this, Les. What is the purpose of this? This isn't winning legal.
No, the referee's back is turned, and right away, these two guys are doubling up on one of their opponents.
You know, you can't really blame the referee because something happens where his attention gets turned another way. You know, it's just things that happen. That's what you got to look out for in a tag match.
Reverse neck breaker by Mr. Glass. And, see it there? Too much ego, right? Not enough wrestling.
Too much. If you're going to pin him, man, go ahead and pin him. But don't be all flamboyant about it. That's.
Once you've got him in that position, get it over with, right? Hook him, put him down for that 3 count if you can.
You get overconfident in yourself, and it may not work for you every time.
A leg drop by Dusty down across the chest and the neck of Tom Brandi. Brandi, tenacious though, he's hanging in there, Terry.
Yeah, he kicked out the blonde there didn't think he was going to kick out. He was going to pick him up because he didn't want to finish him in, but
double slam.
Tom had enough energy in him to kick out.
Of course, we might mention to the fans that aren't aware, once a tag is made, the man on the outside has till the referee makes a 5 count to get in, the guy on the inside that's tagged out to get out.
That's right.
In that five count period, they can do anything together as long as they're not infringing upon the rules.
That's right, and the Hollywood Blondes, they push it right to the limit.
Yes, sir, do. Double teaming once again.
So Tom's partner tried to come in, Mr. M tried to come in to help his partner, but he's not supposed to be in, so the referee's going to have to put him out, and that's where the Blondes take their advantage of him.
The headbutt right into the sternum by Dusty as he came off that rope, and certainly taking the wind out of the sails of Tom Brandi. As in any sport, whether it be wrestling, football, baseball, or running, or whatever, you lose that wind, you're out of it, brother.
That's right. That's right. But you also got to look for that second win. If that second win comes and they're overconfident, so they have it won, boom, that second win hits them. They're gone.
Atomic drop, and as Bam Bam comes down, the suplex by Dusty off the atomic drop, a 1-2 devastating move by the Hollywood Blondes, and they're your winners.
You know, Les, I hate to admit it, but that was good teaming right there.
It certainly was, Terry. Good teamwork on the part of the Hollywood Blondes. As we said, I don't know if we can get that, might get that on instant replay back there, Jim, but I think certainly a good example of teamwork. All right, let's check it out here. Here he goes off of that. He's already had the atomic drop, and here's that suplex.
See, the referee's coming over to put that the blonde.
Look at him on the down, drives him down. He'll turn out.
That's painful.
And your winners are the Hollywood Blondes. Terry and I'll be back with more wrestling action right after this.
My name is George Gulas, speaking on behalf of Universal Wrestling, the Major League of Pro Wrestling. We'll get back with more wrestling action, but first I have in the studio none other than my father, promoter Nick Gulas. And right now I'll talk to him for a couple minutes, and I know a lot of wrestling fans have asked the past several years, 5 to be exact, what has happened to you? Well, you've been out of wrestling since the latter part of 1979, and now it's 1986, a brand new year, and you're coming back into the area again. You'll be promoted in Nashville, Murfreesboro, all the Middle Tennessee area in southern Kentucky. I know a lot of wrestling fans have asked about you. They've stopped me and asked me, and I know they've asked a lot of wrestlers, but here you are here on Television 39. You can tell the wrestling fans you're healthy now. You had a bout of pneumonia, but you suffered back around Christmas in the first of the year, and of course, you've defeated that. I guess that was the biggest match of your career, not being a wrestler in the ring, but you've got a lot to say to the wrestling fans, a lot of talents coming in here. New York Dog, Bill Smithson, Terry Adonis, manager Richard Lee, Tommy Higgy back in the area. You got Roughhouse Tommy King, the Samoans from WWF in Madison Square Garden. They're coming back. Plus, we also got the Masked Scorpions. We got Austin Idol, Joe LeDuc. We don't have enough time to announce what's coming in this area, and I know you're glad to be back in the wrestling area, and of course, being your home here in Nashville, you're glad to be back.
George, many years I've been in the wrestling business. In fact, I was in it for 47 years. And I tried to bring the best wrestlers in the world right here in Nashville, in every place that I promoted. And I broke in a lot of fellas. A lot of the fellas that are wrestlers today, I would say 75% of the wrestlers in the business today, I broke them in wrestling years ago. Some of them 30 years ago, some of them 35 years ago. I had the greatest wrestlers in the world come to Nashville. Such great stars as Jimmy Lunders way back in the early 30s and 40s and 50s. And the Ed Stranger Lewis, Luthez, Harley Race, Pat O'Connor, some of the greatest wrestlers in the world came to Nashville. I brought them here, and I intend to bring some of the greatest wrestlers back to Nashville, Murfreesboro, Birmingham, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Memphis, Louisville, Evansville, every town that I can open up and get back, which I had at one time. I'm going to promote and bring back some of the greatest wrestlers in the world.
I know one thing a lot of wrestlers have said, they're coming back when Nick Gulas comes back. I guess you're just like a kitchen and a household word. You know, you can say that some names like Joe Namath, the football, and Bob Cousy, the basketball, and Mickey Mountain, the baseball, your name's associated with pro wrestling, and that's why they're waiting for you to come back, because they know you can bring in the best. And since you have mentioned about coming back and then back in this area, You've been flooded with phone calls. I tell you what, I'm sure you can tell wrestlers and wrestling fans, you're not going to stop now. You'll probably get a lot more calls than what you've gotten, and a lot of fans are glad you're back in it. So I know Universal Wrestling is glad to have you in it. I know that you've missed it for 5 long years, but I tell you what, 5 years have gone by very quick knowing you're back in the wrestling world again. I know the wrestling fans are glad you're in it, and so are the pro wrestlers.
Well, I'm glad to get back, Jordan. I'm glad to get back here in Nashville. We're going to either have the matches at the fairgrounds or the City Auditorium in downtown Nashville. We'll let you know in the next couple of weeks when we'll have the match, the first match, and also where we could be located.
And we'll get back with more Universal Wrestling, the Major League of Pro Wrestling. But first, words from our sponsor, been back with more wrestling from Universal Wrestling.
Now is the time to ready your car. George Brown Wheel Alignment now has a $12.95 front-end alignment special for your car. We also do brake repairs, shocks, minor tune-ups, and free brake inspections, and all our work is guaranteed and backed up by George's 35 years experience. George Brown is your Toyo and Dayton Tire and Interstate Battery dealer. We're open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and 7 to noon Saturday. Call us at 893-8320 or stop in at 421 West Burton in Murfreesboro and let George Brown's experts ready your car for spring. The right car or van for the right occasion. That's what Tennessee Car and Van Rental offers. Economy or luxury. A van for a family weekend outing or a van to carry the team to a big game. And with their low rate, you'll still have plenty of pocket money to enjoy the trip. Tennessee Car and Van Rental offers a wide range of late model cars from economy to luxury, from family to a sports car. Come see us at Tennessee Car and Van Rental, 1229 Northwest Broad in Murfreesboro or 2414 Lebanon Road, Nashville.
There's the bell. Robbie Ellis out against the Psycho. And Terry, this is Robbie Ellis. You know, he's an amateur wrestling coach. He coaches high school wrestling. He's got a great amateur background himself. And,
You know, Robbie Ellis is he's interesting to watch because he's the kind of guy, you know, being a coach like that, he can pull anything out of the package.
Really, and of course, he's got his work cut out for him. This guy, the Psycho, they call him the Psycho, and he's a little unorthodox, you might say.
Yeah, I haven't seen his Psycho wrestle that much, but he tends to overdo the rules a little bit himself.
Ellis with an elbow. You know, he reminds me of, what was he, like the Roadrunner, Robbie Ellis. Beep, beep, and he's gone.
Oh, yes,
Oh, he's in there. It's like a boom, boom, boom. He's moving so fast, doing a little bit of everything. My strategy was always to settle in with a hold and work it, and Robbie was on the move all the time.
Robbie doesn't give you a chance to counter anything he's got going. That's where speed comes in, and believe me, he's got the speed.
You're right, he sure does. Robbie clamping down on the headlock with a combination, has the arm hooked in there, and of course, you know, Terry, put yourself in Robbie Ellis' position. For the most part, he spots every man he wrestles quite a bit of weight.
Yes.
If Terry Daniels were in that same position, how would you go in there and build an offense against a man that much bigger than yourself?
I'd just go in there and not let him get a hold of me. If he did get a hold of me, just keep moving. Because in that, he may be fast himself, but I stress on trying to be just that much quicker than the big man. Robbie Ellis, that's what he stresses to. Well, see, with his size, he gives a little more confidence to the other smaller men when he steps into the ring with someone big.
Yeah, I can see your point there. Ellis with a backdrop and an elbow drop following up on the Psycho, gets a 2 count. And Ellis, he is such an intense man. I mean, like there, he missed the pin, and he was just livid. He just, he got very upset with it, and he's right back in there again.
I think that's one mistake that he has. When he misses something, he gets mad at himself and he leaves himself open, and that's a mistake you shouldn't make against anybody. I
agree. You've got to maintain your head.
Got to keep your composure.
That's right, exactly. Because, you know, there again, we were talking about Sullivan and the Haze. I think that's part of their game plan when it comes down to like Idle and Savoldi, is to try and make them lose their cool and realize that if they do, they're going to make a mistake someplace down the line.
And with them too, they may think that they may want you to think that they messed up and make you think of it, and then when you go to try and take advantage of it, boom, they sneak in and strategies.
Absolutely.
And I even hate to say it about them, but they do have some good strategy, no matter what it is they're putting together.
Look at the combination here.
What is this?
There's the bell.
Oh, yeah, that's a move I've never seen before.
I'm lost. I've been in the wrestling business 25 years, and I've never seen it before. Not really sure that anybody else.
I don't think Psycho's ever seen it before either.
Right, quite a combination. Psycho's upset about it, whatever the case. But Robbie Ellis, with that pinning combination, comes up your winner. And here's the announcement. We're going to have to take a break. We'll be back with more action.
Hi, this is Ronnie Stoneman. Would you believe I live hee-haw? Letting you know you're going to listen now. You got to listen to Carl Tipton, 6 o'clock in the morning and 7:30 in the evening. He's got a great show, so y'all listen to Carl. You hear? I'll hit you with this plant here. You know what I mean, Vern?
Watch the Carl Tipton Show here on Television 39.
ABCO, the world's largest cruise agent, presents The Cruise Connection, a program designed for the free-spirited travelers everywhere by ABCO. We're the coast-to-coast leader, booking more people on more ships than anyone else. ABCO puts the itineraries of 85 of the finest and most luxurious cruise ships in the world at your fingertips. ABCO cruise professionals can arrange cruises for individuals, small groups, large groups, whatever the size. We can even reserve an entire cruise ship for your group or organization. ABCO is committed to your satisfaction and to making your cruise experience one that you will want to repeat again and again. That's why we offer this unique cancellation protection plan with each cruise booking. If for some unexpected reason you should have to cancel your cruise, you will get a full refund. Ask your ABCO cruise agent for details. Just call 1-800-327-0699. That's 1-800-327-0699.
We've got just a minute before we have to say so long. Terry, we're really enjoying having you here at Mike's side with us.
I enjoyed being here.
And Terry, we're going to see you in action next week on International Championship Wrestling, and certainly hope that you get some information very soon about your dad.
Yes, sir, I do too. It's really, I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting me now, you know, because I'd like to see the reaction my dad has to find out that I was in the Marines and now I am a professional wrestler. Just see what his response is.
We hope something works out for you. Terry Daniels, a great young competitor. He'll be in action here on ICW next week with other great wrestling stars. We'll be seeing the Purple Haze, Kevin Sullivan, Joe Savoldi, a great array of stars all coming up here next week. And of course, Terry, I don't know who your opponent's going to be, but again, if you come up with a win, it's another step up that ICW ladder.
That's right. I've got myself prepared for whoever it is. So, you know, and I hope the people come out, and I'd like for you to bring your flags out because that just adds a little more excitement and a little more adrenaline flowing for myself.
All right, good. Good luck to you. For Terry Daniels, myself, Les Thatcher, and everyone here at ICW, thanks for being with us, and join us again next week.
Thank
Terry,
you very
take
much.
care.